this door, what would happen? That would be dead useful. And I'm going to be honest with you, I found a certain few times in life, I thought to myself, wouldn't it be good to know the outcome of certain things that I did? Because if I did, I'm telling you, I wouldn't have done it. Does that make sense? For example, I used to have a little bit of a hobby. And my hobby was building bikes, push bikes. And it was great, because what I used to do is, I come from a sort of fairly poor background. I'm not particularly wealthy now, but I'm loaded compared to them. But I didn't, and you know, I don't want you to get violins out or anything like that. Money would be good, violins I'm not bothered about, okay? But, so I'm not kind of like pleading the poverty, because we were far from full of poverty. But I came from a sort of fairly hard upbringing. My dad was an alcoholic, mum and dad got divorced when I was fairly young. Couldn't really afford many things, you know, in life, and I used to have to lift off hand-me-down clothes. You might say, well, what's so bad about that? Well, my sister was older than me. That's what's bad about that. I don't want any comments like, you're still living on them, Mark, are you? That's not called for tonight, alright? It's my material, not yours, okay? Leave it alone. But I used to have this hobby, because we couldn't afford a bike, I'd kind of like build my own bike. And what I'd do is I'd build the bike off spare parts that I found on other bikes. Do you get me? You know, I mean, you know, they were just sort of, they were just odds and sods, as we say up north, of spare parts. I mean, you might call them somebody else's bike. We just call them spare parts, you know, just conveniently put together for an easy location. All right, more than anything. And so this is what we did. And, you know, I don't even know if my mum and dad know actually to this day, but that's fine. They're not here, so they don't need to. My mum brings me up tomorrow. I know it's come from here somewhere. All right. So we used to kind of like, and what we'd do is, I suppose it's like ringing bikes, isn't it? You know, where you'd pick a little bit from this bike, a little bit from this bike, and you build your own bike. And then what we would do then is we'd kind of sell the bike we'd pulled together. Does that make sense? And you know, you had to make do with what you got. So sometimes you were riding your bike like this because your front wheel was small. Other times you were more like that. Okay. But you know, you make do what you got. And the idea is you'd sell that bike. And then what you could do is you could buy a really expensive part for another bike. Are you with me? And that was great because, you know, it's kind of, you didn't feel guilty, even though you bought it through ill gain and illegal money and laundering your money through your bikes, okay? But somehow, you know, I bought this with my own money. So it kind of dealt with the guilt a bit, you know what I mean? And then, so then you build another one, and eventually you kind of have the bike that you wanted. Now, some of my mates had like the drop handlebars. Don't know if I like to do that when I did that, but I could have just done that. But anyway, the drop handlebars. And I was really pleased with this, a Diamondback BMX. I don't know if any of you remember it, yeah? Diamondback BMX, right? With array alloy wheels. And alloys, yeah, alloys for you, Mark, yeah. And okay, gonna be honest, forgot the frame, slanty back seat. Okay, I forgot the name of it, but anyway, posh seat. And you had these brilliant brakes, and it was fun. And I remember the first day I'd managed, it took me a few years to get these spare parts, sell them, get a few more, sell them, and to build up my bike, and it arrived when I got the final front wheel. I was really, honestly, brings tears to my eyes, thinking about it now. Okay, the honest way I got that bike together is amazing, my own work. And I put this front wheel on, okay, and I took it out, and I'm going up the road, okay, and I'm cycling up the road in a kind of, like, look at me, in my Diamondback BMX type way. Okay, okay. Actually, I used both hands, but I wasn't holding a microphone. So, you appreciate it. If I did it like that, it ruins it, alright? But we're gonna turn it round, feeling absolutely fantastic. And then I saw her, this girl, and I fancied her. And I thought to myself, I'm going to impress her. It's fine. So she got closer. I'm cycling down like this. I know that's slightly camp, but I've got gout in my foot, it's the best I can do, okay? So I'm cycling like this, right? Okay, like this. And she's coming closer, and I'm getting closer. Don't get me laughing because I'll not stop myself, alright? And she's coming closer, and I'm getting closer, and just at the right point, I pulled this wheelie. Folks, I am telling you, this was a phenomenal wheelie. Hold that thought. If I'd have known the outcome of that particular action, don't race ahead, let me finish the story, okay? If I'd have known the outcome of that action, I would not have pulled the aforementioned wheelie. If I'd have remembered to have fastened and tightened up the knots on the wheel, do you get me? I wouldn't have done it. I mean, I was confident with a wheelie. Staying up there wasn't a problem. You try landing a bike without a wheel, that is really difficult. Honestly, that is not an easy thing to do. And as I kind of, I pulled, the word shot up, and I am thinking to myself, this is not a good moment. She's laughing. I'm laughing a little face off. Didn't like her anyway. I fell down. The fork stuck in the road. Could have been a lovely somersault if I'd have been prepared for it, but as it was, I was just splayed down in the road. Not a pretty sight. So I'm going to be honest with you, if I'd have known the outcome of that action, would you agree it would not have been sensible to pull the wheelie, correct? Okay, I want to labour this point because I want to bring a smile, but I want to bring a thought. Another occasion, on one of the other bikes that I built, and another girl, same road, different outcome, similar outcome. So I'm going up the road on my bike. Can't do it anymore, okay. Going up the road on my bike like this. See another girl, pull the wheelie. Now, let me teach you something about wheelies, in case you want to do one this week. What's crucial to a wheelie, what makes a good wheelie, is you've got to get the pulling factor, okay, and the pushing factor spot on. Alright? If you get the pushing factor too strong, all you should do is move forward quickly for a bit. Okay, you get me? If you get the pulling factor wrong, but you got the pushing factor right, you don't actually get that much of a wheelie because you run out of pace. So it's really crucial to get the pulling and the pushing absolutely spot on. On this particular day, I didn't. I'm going to be honest with you. And what happened is, as I pushed down on the pedal, what happened was, my foot, now do not laugh at this. You have no right to laugh at this unless you have sustained one of these injuries. Okay, now if you have in fact ever sustained a pedal injury on your calf, yeah, you have still got the bits missing to prove it, okay? Who's ever sustained a pedal injury? You are totally free to laugh. The rest of you, do not laugh. If you want to laugh, you've got to sustain right now a pedal injury and find out how bad it is, alright? So, I'm sustaining this pedal injury, and when I pulled this wheelie, my foot slid off the pedal spun round, smacked me on the calf, and then I fell onto the crossbar on a part of the male anatomy that is not designed for falling on crossbars, I reckon. You're not laughing so much now, eh? Gonna be honest with you. If I'd have known the outcome of those choices and those decisions, I wouldn't have made them.